Mm.
I'm going to break out my beer computer. But
Oh, the beer computer. I'm afraid of that beer computer.
I will guide you here. Don't worry.
Oh, that's good. That's good, my friend. You know, I'm here standing alone with my blue moon, so be gentle.
I'll be gentle with the beer computer. Don't worry. And there is some beer news that has come out
Intimidating.
over the last couple of months. Some very, very interesting beer news. And I think this beer news has the potential to revolutionize how we consume beer. And I think this is something that on the Beer Brackets channel we had to talk about. We had to bring it up and we had to give our opinions on it. And I think we have to get everybody at home telling us what they think about the potential of this too.
I'll take a sip of delicious blue moon.
Oh, please do.
The wheat moon. That's what they should have called it, the wheat moon.
I have to top off my beer for this story as well. As we know in our beer explorations, buddy, the monks have been behind everything to do with the beer world, as we have discovered. And it never ceases to amaze me what they can come up with. So now, a monastic brewery in East Germany says it has created, and get this, the first powdered beer. Okay. So, and they are claiming that this is going to revolutionize how beer is made. And it's also going to make it into a much more sustainable industry when it comes to export. Because as you can imagine, exporting cans and bottles, these heavy cases, can get really expensive. It takes up a lot of space when you're transporting. So you need to pack it all onto trucks, onto ships, onto trains, whatever it might be to ship it internationally. But if you can ship a powder, you can ship a lot more and for cheaper. So here's the thing. So they made a beer. And they reduced it down to a powder form. So all you need to do is add water, mix it up, and you drink your beer. And they say
is it magic dust?
It's magic beer dust. And they say that there is no difference. But there's a caveat here. So get this. It's non-alcoholic.
Okay. that would have been, because I'll give you this. Like, you got me very intrigued there. But I was going to ask you, like, really? With the alcohol? That explains it.
But
fair enough.
They do say that this is just the first step of the process and that they are going to be creating an alcoholic version. So that is coming. This is just the first step.
Okay.
So,
well,
what do you think? I want to get your thoughts on this. If they are able to create a powdered form of beer like chocolate milk that you buy, like Nesquik, that you mix your own water into, you stir it up, and boom, you have a beer. You just follow the directions on the can, volume of powder as opposed to the water, and boom, the recipe done. You can make it stronger if you want to. You can make it weaker if you want to. Do you think that is something that's going to be palatable and appealing to beer drinkers on a mass scale, or do you think that would be fully rejected across the board and would have no chance?
Well, to answer your, let's say the last question about like what if I think it would be, eventually could potentially turn into something that a lot of people will potentially use. I think if it's done right, assuming the carbonation is there and the alcohol is there, which, I find these like, I would be very curious to see how they do that. Like it's very intriguing to me because, the non-alcoholic version, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
That you can make it.
Yeah.
I would probably not buy it. But to be honest, I mean,
probably not buy it. But
probably. Let's rephrase that.
Of course not. Why would we buy that? There's no reason to buy that.
Well, I would buy it, and I would definitely want to try it with you here on the channel because it would be fun.
Yeah. For like for beer exploration purposes, I would buy it, but I'm not going to keep like a tub of non-alcoholic beer powder in my house.
I do think that assuming that they get over these challenges that they have ahead of the game, I think it has a potential, assuming that it tastes like, it has a potential. However, I would be a little hesitant for one main reason, and I'll tell you which one that is.
Just one?
Yeah, well, it is one, but it's a big one. And the reason is the water.
Yes.
And, we all know that, beers are made 90% of
Such a
water.
good point. Such a good point. Exactly. Yeah.
But the problem is that if you, let's say they make, a San Bernardo's ABT12 powder.
Yeah.
Somehow, right? And they ship it to us.
Can you imagine that?
Or Chimay.
You have
right?
a bucket of St. Bernardus ABT12 powder, and you can just mix it with water and make as much as you want for cheap.
I still think I would not enjoy it as much, because I think that the water that is used
Yeah.
in the production of the beer is such an important element, to the point that, I mean, brewers take that into consideration when
100%.
they do produce it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think, my friend? Like, let me turn the question to you now. I took a little time here to answer, but what are your thoughts?
I think there's a couple of advantages, right? If it's cheaper to ship, that means it's going to be cheaper to purchase. So what that means is that if let's say it costs you, I don't know, $40 to go out and buy a case of 24 of your favorite beer, if you're having a bunch of people over, if you could buy a tub of powder that makes the equivalent of 80 beers for the same price, mixing, by volume with water, and it becomes that much cheaper because you're not paying for all this heavy, expensive bulk shipping that needs to be done to get the beer to you, then there's an appeal there. But I think it's only going to appeal to a certain kind of beer drinker, to be completely honest with you. I think it's going to appeal to the beer drinkers that drink. I think the beer drinkers that I'm talking about, the people who drink to get drunk. I think that's the kind of beer drinker that this is going to appeal to, the people who go through large volumes of beer. I think being able to buy for cheap a big tub and put together your own beer is going to be appealing to those type of people. If you're the type of people like us where, on the weekends you like to experiment with a couple of beers and beer explore and have your favorites and sip on them, enjoy them and try some different things. And it's about the experience more than it is trying to just drink a bunch of beer for cheap on the reg. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I don't think that would apply to that kind of beer drinker. I don't think it would be appealing at all, because the reason I love beer and the reason that I love trying these rare beers is because, like you said, it's coming from a certain place. It uses the water of this certain place. It was produced and made and bottled and canned there and shipped in this special container, and you get it and it's done, and it's a lot of cases it's bottle conditioned or can conditioned, so it's been becoming more beautiful and more beer like in the bottle.
It's a live product.
It's a live product, exactly. And for people like us, I think that's a big part of it. It's like that's what makes beer special for me. Exactly, it's a live product. You hit the nail on the head. And I think whatever the process is that they do to do that, to put that to powder form, it's not a live product anymore. It's a dormant product waiting to be brought back to life. And I think that just takes the fun out of it, and that takes the interest out of it for me, at least.
It's interesting though that there is an interest. I mean, I can see, like you're saying, there are some advantages.
Yeah.
I guess like for me, and that might be, just like probably like a preconception coming from the way that we experience beer, and experience is the word that you use, and is correct word. It's not like we're not necessarily only drinking the beer, we're trying to have an experience.
Yeah.
So we're trying to understand where it comes from, what it is about, what message it's taking from where it was produced, from the wizard that produced that beer. So
exactly.
I think that in a way there's one element, and it's a big one missing there, like from the equation. Like that water element to me is just like, I think for me is the more I think about it, and it would be fun to try, but I don't think I would go beyond that.
No, it's not going to be the same beer. It's going to be your version of whatever beer with your tap water from where you live, or your Brita filter water, or whatever water you decide to use. There's going to be your particular version of that beer. It's not going to be, and I'll say it again, that's the beauty of it. Part of the fun of trying, let's say, like a Chimay Trappist beer is knowing that you're drinking water from a spring on the grounds of this abbey that they pulled out, to brew this beer with. And that's all contained in this beautiful bottle of beer that you're drinking. And that's just part of the experience for me. So I don't think so. Yeah. I think powdered Budweiser or powdered Pabst Blue Ribbon would be a big hit. And I think there's a lot of people out there who would buy that up if it was super cheap and make 4 liters of Budweiser for $5. And I think that would serve a purpose, but in general, I think it's kind of a limited idea. I do applaud them though for wanting to make this industry a little bit more sustainable and a little bit more environmentally friendly, but I can't see it catching on, to be honest with you, at least with a good portion of the beer drinking population. Everybody, let us know what you think down below. Do you think this is something that could be the next wave of beer, or is this something that's an idea that's just going to flop? Let us know down below, everybody, what you think, and cheers.